What's the name of this place?
The Crab Apple Cookery and Cafe.
Okay, so what does the cookery mean?
Cookery, it's a term I actually had to look up, and I'm not quite sure why I did that. But it's a lot of different things, which is hopefully what we'll be doing here. But it would include cookeries used to be a gathering place for people.
Okay.
And whether it was teaching or whether it was just a collective of people coming together or that sort of thing. So my end game, I think, food for me is just one of these amazing things that you don't need to speak the same language or anything like that.
That's true. I never thought of that.
And almost all my good memories are around food. They're not necessarily about food, but Christmas time you get together with your family and stuff like that. And you eat, so that's kind of where the cookery part of things came from.
So how did you come up with the name Crab Apple?
Well, I originally wanted to call the place home. Unfortunately, to get a registered business name, you can't have an entity that is quite that vague. So I could have called it Lorne's Home, or Ivan's Home, or
anything, nice.
Right?
Uncle Jimmy's home.
But the reason why I wanted, there's twofold. I wanted people to feel like it was home.
Okay.
But it was also, I had all these, you answer the phone, thanks for calling home, et cetera, neat little things like that. But when I found out I couldn't have the name, I didn't really want to call it Lorne's Home or anything like that. And we have a beautiful crab apple tree in our yard.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
I knew it was a tree. It never dawned on me it was a crab apple.
Yeah.
So, first of all, we should have had you tell everybody who you are.
Oh, yes, of course. I guess my name's Lorne Caborn. I was born in a lovely little town called Middle Musquodoboit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, many moons ago.
Not as many as mine.
No. But yeah, and I've traveled, went to school all the way up through high school in Nova Scotia, and at various schools we bounced around a fair amount, and then university took me away, and then work took me away across Canada. I've been in all the provinces except the territories, which is very, very high on my bucket list.
So what did you do in university? What degree?
Well, I started in computer sciences because that's where the money was back in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And then I quickly discovered, I don't know if I discovered or envisioned myself sitting in a cubicle. And that terrified me. So that was my first realization that money wasn't everything. And that was at UPEI. And then I transferred to St. Mary's and switched to, I was going to be a lawyer.
Oh, is that right? Listen.
Yeah, and then also discovered that was more paperwork than standing in a courtroom, and it looks a lot more glamorous in the movies. And then I switched to business. I felt it gave me a lot more leeway to do certain things, and my part-time job was in it's the old joke. I walked into a bar and I forgot to leave.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
So my part-time job was in the restaurant field, and I ended up staying in that and not pursuing my degree at all. So
how did you go from all that to here?
Bounced around just in the industry for, I guess I'm 27 years deep now.
So where have you worked?
Locally, I started at a place called Cafe Chianti, the original location that was on just off of Barrington and off of Hollis. South Park, I think, was the original location, and I did some high-end restaurants. I've done some very not high-end bars, bounced, DJ'd, bartended, cooked, ran the whole shoot match, and then eventually I got into the management side of things, and that's when I started realizing that I wanted to have my own, just to be able to call the shots, and really, when you have a vision and you want to do something, you kind of want to see it all the way through and roll the dice, and so here we are with me rolling the dice on a...
How did you come across this building?
Sheer luck. I'm not going to lie. Everything happens for a reason, I guess. But we were looking all over the province for a property, and it was one of those things. I kept looking, and I I just kept saying to myself, when I find it, I'm going to know. And yeah, sure enough, I think we found this place, and everything kind of wrapped up very, very quickly. And then, yeah.
Do you know when this was built?
I believe 44 years ago, 44, 42 years ago, something in that ballpark. Wrong? That's what I've got listed. So.
Let's see. It would be about 1953.
Oh, really? Wow.
Because it was my Uncle Jimmy had the store up where the...
Yes, you had mentioned
Hammock used to be.
Yeah.
David Belangelo had Maritime Laminating. There was a building there, and he had the store there. He rented it, and then he built this.
Oh, okay.
And in the basement, he built my boat. When I was 10, in the fall, I wanted a boat, and he said he would build me a boat. $60. And I scrounged, I ran errands, and I got 25 cents allowance, and I would come up and watch the progress of my boat being built in the basement of this building. And I was 10 at that time, and I was born in 45.
Okay.
And the building was here then.
Okay.
So it was shortly before that it was built. Eleanor would know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to ask her.
So when he brought my boat in the spring, my birthday's in January, he brought it in the spring, and I was 11. So that would have been 1956.
Wow.
So it's roughly 1953. I remember when they were building it.
Wow.
And
you still have the boat by any chance?
No, I'm kicking myself for not keeping it. He was really disappointed.
Yeah. Well,
I sold it because I was building another boat and I ran out of money, so I sold it.
Yeah, you don't think about stuff like that when you're younger. I've got all sorts of stuff I wish I still had.
Yeah, but I'm amazed. Like, this is fantastic. Where did you get all these antiques?
Honestly, most of it downsizing. My parents both. I've got two sets of parents, and they both were moving from homes into apartment buildings, and I lucked out.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a beneficiary, and this way they get to, obviously it's a lot of their stuff they couldn't take with them, so this way they get to kind of come back and see it.
So back to the building. I get sidetracked.
Yeah.
So when you saw it, you knew it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely took some, looking around. It was coming inside that really kind of sold the deal for me, and just seeing the bones of it. And, obviously it was a restaurant at one point, so the structure was all there for me. Plus there's a place for us to live upstairs, which is what I was looking for, so that combination of business and living space is hard to find.
So your mom told you you were going to open, but that was a few years ago.
It was, yeah.
What happened?
I blame it on a lot of P's, mostly the pandemic.
Okay. That's a biggie.
I'd be lying if there wasn't some procrastination in there, though. But yeah, it was just, honestly, a lot of it had to do with the pandemic. And this is my first foray into the business side of things.
Okay.
One of my end games is I want to help other people open business in Nova Scotia. I love this province with every inch of my soul, and I think it's a great place to live, and I think it's a great place to work for yourself. I think the people here, as I'm sure you know, are very supportive of small business, and so I wanted to go through the whole process myself to learn, and it was a long process, and there's a lot more to it than I realized, to be honest with you.
Well, I kept watching to see when and what would happen, and it didn't seem like anything was happening, and then when I saw the sign, I think, yes.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to stop in, but never got around to it, never saw anybody here at the same time, so...
Yeah, we were both working probably 50, 60 hours a week, so it's...
Still?
Not now. I've just left my job, and this is it for me, and she's still working part-time at hers, but yeah, it was...
So now you're in it.
Yeah, so that was also part of it. So basically, you get off work and come home and try and build a washroom, in your free time. So that it was tough, but we're here now, so that's the important.
So, I noticed you're open when I went by. I was like 6 to 10.
Yeah, 6 to 10 Monday to Friday, just to start. We've got a 5-year plan to get where I want to be, but wanted to start small. I think it's somewhere in the 70% of restaurants close within the first year. Yeah, it's a very volatile industry. I love telling our financials to, business people, because basically, on average, really good restaurants, you make $4.17 for every $100 you sell.
Wow.
Yeah. So when they say it's a labor of love, they don't lie.
Whoa, I guess.
Yeah, so you really, we're just trying to set ourselves up for success as best we can. I thought breakfast was a great place to start. We were both commuters, and, in the morning it's either Tim Hortons or McDonald's. Not that I have a complaint about either one, because I go to both quite frequently, and they do what they do very, very well. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in business, but I just wanted to have another option for people out here, and so that was the whole starting at 6 o'clock, was to try and capture that the local commuting traffic. And we want to be open year round, and I feel like that's going to be essential to us.
So are you going to have any instant things, like drive by and pick up your...
No, I don't. I'm not a big believer in drive-bys. The environment, sitting in cars idling, that sort of thing, and it's the illusion of comfort and speed, I think, as well. We've been duped into thinking that this is a faster process. It's certainly more convenient just to stay in your car, absolutely, but I think to get out and especially in the morning to say hi to a familiar face and have a warm cup of coffee, and we're pretty fast here. Most people, we can get in and out of here in under 5 minutes for a coffee and a breakfast sandwich. So,
Good.
Yeah, we've got it all ready to roll in the morning. So, now as we progress and we get deeper into breakfast and brunch service and lunch, there will be a lot more intricate meals and time taken on the food, but there'll still be quick options for people that want them. But there'll be some nicer dishes that take some time as well. So.
I'm really impressed with the decor. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, it's like I say, that was the original goal, and it's certainly a vision. I definitely owe it to all the women in my life for making that happen. So my partner Rachelle, my stepmom Gloria, my mom Jude, and my sister Kelly all played a very, very large hand, and I kind of had a vague vision in what I wanted, and they actually put it to not put it to paper, put it to wall for me, and so I basically just got to go, that was it.
So now your breakfast from 6 to 10 until how long?
We'll probably do 6 to 10 Monday to Friday, probably until the tourist season starts to kind of kick in. So I would imagine somewhere in the March department. March, April, we'll launch, and we'll probably launch into lunch business first. And then after that, I'm also a big believer in walk before you run. So we want to make sure that we really execute and nail things. But once lunch gets underway, then we'll get into dinner, and then we'll get into brunch on the weekends. And like I say, hopefully by the time April, May rolls around, summer's here, then we'll be 7 days a week and have the full service with our liquor license. And then hopefully after that, we'll just be year-round, 7 days a week. And probably, obviously there'll be reduced hours, as I'm sure you have in the wintertime as well. But no, you go run the same amount of hours, do you? Wow.
I'm a vegetarian.
Yes.
So do you have anything for vegetarians?
Certainly do. We have some vegetarian and vegan options. Yeah. I'm really, I definitely enjoy meat. I do. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend.
I'm not denying that.
Yeah, I enjoy a nice steak as much as the next person, but we actually eat a lot of vegetarian meals ourselves. And I like making vegan food, to be honest with you. I like experimenting and trying to figure out. I will never serve anything, vegan, vegetarian, meatitarian, whatever you want to call, if I have to sacrifice quality. That's just something I won't do. I won't put something on my menu that I don't believe in. But having said that, one of my favorite things to do is to try and find something maybe that someone doesn't enjoy, perhaps someone who only eats meat. If I can make a vegan meal for them that they enjoy, that's amazing. And I did a vegan buttered chicken for the first time this year. And I'll tell you, if you could tell...
But it wasn't chicken?
It wasn't chicken and it wasn't butter. And if you could tell the difference, I would happily buy you dinner.
Wow.
It was amazing. So I'm looking forward to putting something like that on the menu.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah. right now, we've got a vegan. Our breakfast bowl is vegan based. So we do like a chia seed pudding with fresh berries. She makes a homemade granola that we're actually going to be transitioning into gluten free as well. So
Oh, that was my next question.
yeah, my stepmom's gluten. Her entire family, I think, is gluten free, celiac. So very, very well versed with the gluten sensitivities, and so we'll be doing vegan granola, and then it gets all kinds of shredded coconut and fresh fruit, banana, and all that sort of stuff. We do a smoothie. My egg white frittatas are vegetarian and dairy free. So there's definitely going to be hitting a lot of those, and a lot more options, to be honest with you. Still having a meat element as well. I've got plans for a steak night down the road, but fish is actually what I want to get into specializing.
Okay.
And that's the end game. I'd like to have a 6-foot gas-fired grill out back and do grilled fish.
Do you do barbecues outside?
Eventually, that would be nice as well. You've got some legalities there with your food permits and stuff that are a little tricky to dance around sometimes, but yeah, that's the goal as well. So, it's always struck me as odd that in Nova Scotia, it's hard to find good grilled fish. You can get deep fried fish, and you can get pan fried fish, and smoked fish, but like a nice, gorgeous. So I remember way back when I started at Cafe Chianti, we'd have fishermen drop their product off at the back door. We'd get a beautiful sea bass, and you'd clean it and fillet it and serve it that day. And so that's where I'd like to get it. Basically once it's sold out, that's the special for the day. And it's fresh and it's wonderful and it's local. And
You get Birchall's.
Birchall's? Yeah.
Birchall's Wharf?
Oh, just up there. Yeah, I haven't really met a lot of I was doing some part-time work at Shaw's Landing for Rob there, and it's a fantastic place. But I've just started to meet some of the local kind of
Well, that
suppliers
used to
and
be
stuff.
the place to buy fish.
Fresh one?
Up here.
Oh, okay.
In Hackett's Cove, it's actually Bootier's Cove, you know where the finer diner is.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
That cove is Bootier's Cove, even
Okay.
though it's in the village of Hackett's Cove.
Of course,
So
makes
you
perfect
go down-
sense.
You go down the wharf and when they come in with their catch, but Birchall's in this section of the village,
Yeah.
that was the place.
Are they still active now, or are they?
They have started up again.
Oh, good.
They have their mackerel traps
Yep.
and their lobstering and crabs but yeah, they want to expand.
Oh, fantastic.
So you could get direct from them.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm definitely
Would
going
be
to
quite
introduce
happy.
myself to them. Yeah. Yeah, that's like I say, that's the end game. Well, it'll take probably a while to get there, but we'll get there. I have
And I
faith.
saw some jams in there in the cupboard.
Yep, preserves. So yeah, our crab apples from our crab apple tree, and we'd like to. My stepmom belongs to a collective that makes handmade goods. So we'll be selling those there. But eventually, I'd like to, and this is all my mother's artwork on the walls.
Is it for sale?
It is all for sale, yeah. But eventually I'd like to expand into more of the neighborhood as well, and give people the opportunity to, again, it all goes back to, I want people to feel at home. So, if you make something out of your home that you either think or don't think is worthwhile selling, I think you should come in here and we'll sell it for you, and you can maybe see just what you can do with that.
The community is going to love you.
I hope so. I love the community.
Especially
So.
the artists.
Yeah, well, obviously my mom's been an artist her whole life, so I'm very, very biased when it comes to the art community and supporting them, and absolutely. And I think they need it and deserve it.
Well, this sounds pretty exciting. What about, you going to have anything live, like music or anything?
Again, just eventually get into that as well. Like to do, obviously with the space, I won't have a rock band in here
No.
anytime soon, but some acoustic guitar and piano, stuff like that. Again, it kind of goes into the art community. It's all part and parcel for me. I think it's not a forgotten entity, but it definitely could use some more support than I think it gets. It's tough. It's a tough go. I know lots of musicians, and I wouldn't say they're, they've all got second jobs. So, again, it's another one of those labor of love sort of operations. So, yeah, I know Chris Robinson up the street there is a fantastic guitarist, him and his brother. So yeah, would definitely love to have some entertainment of some sort.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm an impatient person, and
I am a little bit too, believe me.
I
This
don't know,
process
I'm
was
not going to
slow.
wait that long because when I jump into something, I want to go all or nothing. But
Yeah, again, it's. I do have to remind myself of that sometimes, to be honest with you, just to go slow and trust the process. And like I say, I've got the 5-year plan laid out, and I'm really trying to. Now, it can be sped up if the opportunity does present itself, for sure.
there's one thing about coming here, and that's great. I mean, I think people are going to love it.
Yes. Well, thank you. I do appreciate it.
I really do. But what about going to their places?
Oh, the catering?
Yes.
And yes, absolutely. I've got pretty extensive experience with that through hotels and stuff like that, so we'll absolutely be offering catering and service as well. So if you want to have a party in your home, you can either come pick it up here and we can shake hands and part ways, or we can come to your house and drop it off, or we can come to your house, we can serve it. I've done a party Christmas Eve for the last 3 years, pre-pandemic, for 3 years or 4 years for about 100, 125 people. And we do the whole, I bring in servers and bartenders, we provide all the, beverage service, and cook all the food, past appetizers, meals. So, yeah, we can do it all. So yeah, definitely like to provide a lot of stuff with that, and again, hopefully partner with some event planners and stuff like that in the community, and I want to partner and help as many people as humanly possible, and really, make those connections for
Great.
a million reasons.
So is there anything that you would like to say overall?
Not that I can think of. No, I think we touched on everything. I don't know if I have any parting words of advice.
How do people find you other than driving by?
We're on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, all the social media sites and that sort of stuff right now.
And what do they Google?
Crabapple Cafe for Twitter, Crabapple Cookery for Instagram and Facebook. And eventually we'll also have a website as well.
Is there a menu online?
It's on our social media sites as well, absolutely. You can find the menu on there, and or you can just message us, crabapplecookery@gmail.com.
Say that slowly.
Oh, sorry, crabapplecookery@gmail.com. Just drop me an email, and I can send out one, or lots of places. But like I say, once the website gets up and running, and that'll be
Are the prices there?
prices are online as well. Yeah,
Very good.
yeah, you need that. Inquiring minds want to know.
Oh yeah. You
don't
can see the question marks rolling out of the head.
Right. Well, listen, I've walked into some places before and discovered that the price range wasn't necessarily where I was supposed to be, but unfortunately I was in too deep, so I just treated myself. Yeah, it happened in New Orleans. I wandered into the wrong spot, but had an amazing meal. It was incredible. More in my hotel room, but it was good.
Okay, well, this is great. I'm really excited to see what happens.
Yes, I'm excited to see as well. I'm very curious.
All right, thanks a lot.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.